right. So what we're looking at is reference angles. Now, you have an angle, say, looking at that, and we're like, oh, that's 40 degrees. You have a reference angle that is going to tell you a relationship between the terminal side and the x-axis. So everything is as it seems in the first quadrant. So the first quadrant, everything is normal. Now, when you go into quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, there are going to be some different pieces to your reference angle. Your reference angle is where you are finding your right triangle. It's the interior angle of your right triangle when you're finding these lengths. When we move into learning the full unit circle, this may make more sense, but for now, please write that quadrant 2, the degrees, how to find them, is 180 minus your theta in order to find that reference angle in the middle. That's what I'm shading black. That's as if I said, oh, this is 135. You would go, oh, 180 minus 135. Oh, that's 45. And that's a 45-degree angle. Obviously, looking at it, it's not, but I'm making it up. Okay? Then you're like, oh, what is this over on quadrant 3? And you're like, it's 220. And you're like, how do I find 220? Well, 220 is my whole piece, but I want to know just what's in the inside that's leading it up to the x-axis. That's what it's always related to, is the x-axis. So I go, well, 220 minus 180, and that gives me 40. And that's a 40-degree angle between the x-axis and my terminal end. So we dropped it down to the x-axis on quadrant 2. We went up to the x-axis on quadrant 3. We are also going to go up to the x-axis on quadrant 4. Now, how you find this one is that you subtract from a full rotation of 360 degrees. So I say, this is a 300-degree angle. Well, how are you going to find what the inside reference is going to be? Well, it's 360 minus 300. So on the inside is going to be 60. That's the pattern for each of them. So make sure that you guys are looking at each and every piece. The radians follows the same because 180 and pi are identical. That covers quadrants 2 and 3. And then 360 and 2 pi are the same. And we looked at that in the prior relationships. We looked at the relationships between radians, which pi's, and degrees in the prior units and sections. So that's something to be aware of. Make sure you write this down. This will help you significantly when we get to working within the unit circle and finding patterns.